great games with this in the past, but we are into our second half of the draft, which means the second half of the bans, as we're targeting some solo lane action here. Aatrox and Yone banned out.
Interesting to see the Yone ban by FlyQuest there, probably targeting jojopyun because you know that GP is going top. I really like the FlyQuest draft so far. I think it speaks to the team's strengths. They are a team that works well together to the point where you can say they're playing as better than the sum of their parts. They always seem to find these mid to late game fights that go well. Yesterday notwithstanding, I know they just dropped that game to Immortals, but they still had a huge gold lead off the back of some great team play. So going for a more 5v5 oriented composition makes a lot of sense for them. And EG, I mean, they've shown that they can kind of play it all, man. They got scrappy comps, they got ball comps, they got spoon feed the Danny comps.
I mean, chat doesn't have much faith in them. I just now noticed the vote is about 2/3 favoring
That's the toucouille power, baby!
Yeah, that's the toucouille time power, plus the Twitch Yuumi is OP power. As we've got our last bans of the draft coming in. It's Irelia, it's LeBlanc taken off the table. Lots of focus there towards that top side with a little bit of hate thrown in for the mid lane as well. What is Ezreal going to be playing with here? Evil Geniuses trying to figure this one out, probably leaving that last pick for Jojo himself. Ezreal Sona. So I'm feeling like, you know, this is one of those times. Sona scales up very impressively, right? Like late game Sona is an absolute monster.
She is an absolute monster in the mid to late game. She also should have a decently okay lane into the Yuumi. I know a lot of people like playing some enchanters into the Yuumi. It's not too much of a high pressure lane or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised to see it over some of the other enchanters, which were not that heavily targeted out. But I guess if you're thinking that it's going to be two ball comps running into each other, Sona is incredible in those situations where she can keep your whole team shielded, healed up, find some engage opportunities as well, which is not always easy for enchanters to bring, but they're pretty similar.
Well, hey, we want to talk about AoE team fighting power. How about some Vlad thrown on top of a Wukong and a Twitch and a Yuumi? That one's locked in for FlyQuest.
Yep, I expect both teams to continue indexing into that. Not seeing the mid laners yet. Ahri?
Okay, so Vlad top.
Vlad top. As expected in the GP, it's a good matchup for the Vlad for the most part.
Just had to 100% confirm because it is a flex.
You never know, but definitely going to be going to the top lane. Just a strong matchup unless you mess up the lane horribly. Vlad should have control over that one. And then the Ahri, it's a double AP solo lane, which I know sometimes people try to avoid, as well as the Yuumi.
AD jungler though, so.
AD jungler, and then if people want to index into MR for team fighting, Twitch is going to have a field day. It's going to be great. I'll just pop you guys with my ult and stuff. So it does seem a little surprising maybe at first to see the double AP solo laners, but I think it works within the context of their composition. Lissandra.
Yeah.
Team fight.
About that.
More Lissandra. Team fight. It's going to be, again, some early Merc treads probably for a lot of these solo laners with the amount of AP damage in this game. But I think it makes sense. You are trying to kind of blow people up in 5v5s for both team compositions. I like it. Both these play pretty much the same way. Like, you're asking for fighting. You know, you wanted an aggressive
I want fighting.
Game.
I want League of Legends is a PvP game.
Are you sure?
I sincerely hope I am, because this is I want to see a spicier early game. These are, I mean, Evil Geniuses is not a team that when I think of, all right, just sit and scale, that I would think of them, right?
No.
That's not really their style. So
No.
I'm hoping, Mark, we get something a little spicy.
We should. I think the big question for me would be the junglers. If they can get into the lanes and make something happen. Lillia doesn't have the greatest setup in the top lane. Bot lane as well with the Sona pre-6. Nothing really to use there. So Lissandra or bust feels like where you're going to go. So I'm looking at mid lane jungle combinations, hopefully get some early game action going.
You think we're going to get an invade like we got last time around? Maybe, I mean, if you're looking at all these lanes that got escape mechanisms, what if you can cheese out a flash level 1?
I mean, you're looking at toucouille then to make that one happen. The Ahri charm over a wall, you can always find an angle onto somebody.
I mean, if you can play it like Abadaga did in the last game with all those setups time and time again, it is a very scary thing to deal with. But here we go, onto the Rift, game number 2. Evil Geniuses going up against FlyQuest. If EG takes this one, it's a perfect opening week for the reigning champs.
Oh, battle of good versus evil. But we got some funny chat in text. Inspired himself says, what a funny draft. We go soccer after. 4 AP, bro, all good. People are just talking about the AP as well. I was talking about it. The players are talking about the amount of AP in this game. It's very interesting.
Well, I mean, hey, at least everybody's in good spirits. We're having a great time here. I sincerely wish the all chat is something that we had on the pro broadcast. I obviously realize why we can't, because sometimes
there's always the concern.
There's always the concern for that. It's a reason why back in the day when online games were first becoming popular, they really made sure to always hint online interactions are not part of the rating of this game.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I don't see that as much anymore, but back in the day, I remember, when I was a teenager, that was very, very, pushed front and center. They were like, hey, by the way, this game's rated teen, but not the part where you play online.
For when you were at Best Buy and your mom was looking at the back of the box, like,
yup,
rated E for everyone, okay. And then you hear voice comms.
And then it's not so much E for everyone, as now let's go ahead and look at what the level 1 looks like in top. We know that Gangplank's such a scary level 1 champion because of Trial by Fire. Grasp as well on this champion just makes it so hard to deal with him, and you can see how easily Impact wins that level 1 trade.
Yep, nicely done there by Impact. That's what I was talking about. The GP does have some opportunities. If you can find ways to get your Trial by Fire off and then Q spam them down, you actually can get advantages in this lane. So that's pretty big exploitation of Philip there, the young gun, getting taken to task a little bit by Impact, showing his wily veteran moves there. And I was a little surprised not to see the Twitch cheese into one of the lanes early on. It's one of the things that people always do in solo queue with Twitch.
Yep.
You just stealth into a lane, win the trade, give them the advantage that they permanently have mid-prio or something. It actually translates fairly well to a more coordinated environment, where in solo queue it's more about tilting the enemy mid laner, whereas this can give you real advantages for invades and things like that.
In solo queue, it's more about tilting everybody. I swear that's one thing that hasn't changed in this ever-evolving game for a decade, is if you're against a Twitch, you can ping your mid laner. He will be there before you hit level 2. Don't be stupid and die. Sure enough, what do I hear? An ally has been slain. Twitch is the best tilter, or one of the best tilters, in the entire game. But down there in bottom lane, Johnsun running the cleanse, Danny running the teleport, so it is a actually massive TP advantage overall for Evil Geniuses. They have 3 teleports on this team. Philip going for the Ghost and Ignite there on the Vladimir, much more combat power, but not going to have that same macro ability rotating around and being able to get there for the fights later.
It makes sense to me, though, given that we were talking about both these team comps kind of being 5v5s. They can technically split the Vlad or the Ahri or whatever, but the game's going to be won or lost, I think, in 5v5. So less of a concern about the TPs. I'm sure Philip will make sure he's down at Dragon or Baron whenever they need.
Make sure you're there. Be there, right? Take into account the fact that you actually have to walk the distance. That's down here in bottom, a little trading back and forth, but both sides with enchanters, both sides with heals means that damage is going to be tough to stick.
Might be tough to stick, but I think you can still see some good trading into the Yuumi. I think a lot of people do like Sona into Yuumi. It's something that was, I think, debated a lot when she came out. It was a pretty common matchup to take.
Yeah.
Scaling enchanters into Yuumi.
Wasn't there some Twitter beef at some point on, I don't even remember who was arguing about it, but there was Sona versus Yuumi arguments at some point.
I think there was a debate about, especially in competitive play, how much it was good, because both scale well and both have risky lane phases a little bit, so you take them into each other, and it's like, well, which one's actually getting the advantage?
I remember there being some back and forth on Twitter about this, but I don't remember the exact circumstances that it happened in. Down here in bottom lane, everything's still about par for the course. Slight farm advantage there for Johnsun, and more creeps alive for him to farm as well. So could be up slightly, but nothing really to write home about here just yet. Both junglers continuing to farm. You can see they traded off on the Scuttle Crabs there, with FlyQuest grabbing the one in the North River. Evil Genius is doing the same thing in the South. And Impact still running the show up here in top lane, but Philip has more farm than his opponent. So even if Philip's not having the greatest time in the trades, he's not letting it affect his economy.
Yeah, still not quite how they probably wanted the game plan to go when you're coming up with like, okay, we'll get control with our 2 soul lanes, because in theory, mid and top should have the ability to get some prio and then work with your jungler for invades or something like that. Not going to be the case with Impact kind of winning that lane from level 1. Philip, like you said, will be okay, but it can still be enough of a wrench in the game plan to make Jose have to be like, okay, where do I go now? Can I still do the same things I wanted to do?
Well, and of course, things will feel better for Philip as the levels keep pouring in. We know that Vlad's Q feels pretty awful to use before level 7, and it doesn't really feel good until level 9. So things will get better over time, you would think. Meanwhile, here in mid lane, Inspired's just hanging out, seeing if maybe there's anything to be done here. Glacial Path. They get the root onto toucouille, but Inspired can't get the angle for the magical bowling ball in time, so toucouille just takes free damage and says, all right, sure. Yeah,
mostly looking for pressure there. I do like this mid matchup a lot, because I feel like toucouille came in from 2022, not that hyped up. jojopyun, savior of NA for mid laners. And then quietly, toucouille actually got the all-pro vote over jojopyun.
Well.
Yeah, it was
really well.
Despite jojopyun winning the championship, at the end of the regular season, I think more people believe toucouille to be the better mid laner, and I think there is still a bit of a back and forth that I'm really interested to watch in. Not just the good versus evil monikers of the organizations, but I think some of these players as well having taken accolades from each other, you could say.
Yeah, and you can see toucouille, like you mentioned back in the draft, you feel like Mercury Treads are going to be a good item in this game. You can already see a Null Magic Mantle in the inventory of toucouille, the first item that he decides to buy, making sure that he's got some MR, knowing that it's an AP opponent, knowing that it's an AP jungler next to it, helps out a lot.
Yeah, see if Jojo not feeling the same way?
Nope. Well, not quite. Once the Ionian cooldown boots instead, looking to make some plays.
Yep. Interesting. I would have guessed it would have been Merc Treads just because Ahri Charms, Yuumi Roots, stuff like that, but not the case. Wants to be a little bit more aggressive, I guess, with his spamming. It will help you with Prio because even in the matchups where you pick Lissandra as a counter matchup, things like LeBlanc and Ahri, sometimes you can lose the shove just with base damage and cooldowns and whatnot. So this does give you more Prio to contest the wave early on.
Plus, the Mercury Treads don't give him double value. The enemy jungler is AD, so it's not like it's going to help you out in the ganks as much. FlyQuest coming in for the dive. Impact! Not long for this world. He's burning away, but he stays alive. Mark, what's the word? Durability update.
Durability right there coming up clutch for Impact, keeping him alive underneath the turret. The Ignite not finishing him off. I wonder if Jose could have snuck in an auto attack or something because he mostly just kind of drove by through the lane. And it looked like Philip had the turret aggro, I believe. He dropped it definitely when he used his W. We'll have to see if there was an opportunity there to get that last little tick of auto to finish him off. Because it was that. It was one more auto attack from you then probably would have killed him. Yeah,
hopefully we can get a replay check back into that one and see exactly if there was an opportunity to finish that off. And there we go. So let's take a look.
I like the timing window, 5 on 6. So this is a window where Impact should not have his ultimate, but Impact understands, I'm going to kill this cannon. I need to do it. The E ends up, his passive ends up burning it down, gives his ultimate for him to drop it, and just the flash away from Jose, who committed a little bit too hard to the left side, trying to insta-give him. I like the idea from Jose to go, okay, I'm going to insta-kill him because we knew Lissandra was on the follow roam, but that there was a window for Impact to get back, flash underneath his turret, stays alive. Well played by Impact to get the trial by fire on the cannon to get his level 6.
Yeah, Josedeodo had already used the Q at that point, so as soon as Impact flashes away, there's no way to really get the chase, make that kill happen. So nicely played from Impact there to be able to get out of danger, stay alive. Evil Geniuses have a 600 gold lead with no kills on the board, so the laning phase is going pretty good so far.
Looking good for them. This is one of those games where we're talking a lot in the 100 Thieves matchup about, scaling, 1-3-1, 4-1, ball comp, stuff like that. I think this is one of those games where it's going to be 100% execution. No team has, I think, super inherent scaling advantages. They always talk about like the scaling of Twitch, being able to get the pass-through damage and all that stuff. And it's absolutely true that Twitch can become an absolute monster in the late game team fights, but there's so many threats on both these teams, basically every position except for support. Even the supports do damage this game. Like, this is just a high damage game. It's not really much about, I think, one team having inherent scaling advantages.
Makes for some very interesting team fights. Whoever gets the drop is obviously going to be at a great advantage on that one. You can see in the inventory of Johnsun here, the usual Twitch build these days. One of the champions that does not rush Mythic item first. Blade of the Ruined King is the hotness in the current meta. Makes him very, very deadly if he's able to just dump that percent HP base damage into that first target that he finds. As Inspired is going after the Drake, so not quite as slow as the first Drake that we saw in game number 1. Not exceptionally quick either, but it is Evil Geniuses with the first neutral objective here, as it's going to be answered across the map. Josedeodo also picking up the Rift Herald, and we'll see where he uses that one. Hopefully better than game 1.
Hopefully, most likely the case, because Philip should be able to get Prio at different points in time here. Jose going for a wraparound gank on Impact.
And no Impact has no flash. Philip dropping the ulti, finding some damage here. Empowered Transfusion while the ulti is still active. Impact running through the enemy turret. Takes 2 turret shots. Eats the oranges and tries to get away. Philip into the pool. And Josedeodo sneaks in to take the credit. Get the assist money on the table.
I'm helping!
Yup, he brings FlyQuest the first blood.
Excellent play there by Josedeodo. I mean, to be fair, I like the idea. You know, Impact turned around. He was out of turret range. You don't want something to go horribly wrong where he finds the kill onto Philip before he gets his empowered Q off or something. So just go kill him. I actually do like that play as much as we're memeing about it. Just secure the kill and get back onto the map as fast as you can.
I mean, I like it just because you're getting the extra money from the assist.
That too as well.
Like that alone, I'm a big fan of, so I'm totally cool with it. It just looks goofy in execution since Philip did 99% of the damage, but hey, that's the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah, he did 99% of the damage, but Impact ran that way because of Jose's presence.
Exactly.
There you go.
Sometimes it's about the damage you didn't do. As down here in bottom lane, the damage starts to come out, but the immediate disengage from Evil Geniuses. Danny, however, losing some, wait, what do we call it now? It's not Expunge anymore. Somebody actually told me this ability wasn't named Expunge anymore, and I couldn't believe it. Twitch is E.
I'm gonna look it up because I couldn't tell you.
They changed it to Contaminate or something. Contaminate! Thank you so much, observers. Yes, they call it Contaminate now, but back in my day, it was Expunge.
Are you a spray and prayer or are you a rat-a-tat-a-tat, whatever, for the alt name?
I usually just don't even say it. Twitch alt's one of those names that I think in casting, like, there's not a lot of times where it's called
Final
out.
Light or Finala's Vulcan for Lux?
Oh, I never called it that first one because I couldn't pronounce it even back when it was the official name. I just called it Luxel.
They changed it for you, Captain Flowers.
I think I've called it a Kamehameha more than I've ever called it its real name.
Oh, God. Yeah, I like the opportunity there by Johnsun trying to find that kill, but no lockdown CC against an Ezreal makes it very difficult, so.
Yeah, you can just kind of walk away from it, right? I mean, Yuumi does require 3 waves of the ulti to get the root on you, and if you're an Ezreal that gets hit by 3 waves before you find the E key, it's time to wake up.
Definitely the case. I will say, on the support matchup a little bit as well, 52% win rate advantage in solo queue Diamond Plus at least for the Sona, so great counter pick by Vulcan.
You love to see it. Now, we do have the Essence Reaver completed for the Ezreal there, so again, another one of those champions doesn't rush Mythic, stacking towards the tier to get that Manamune into the Muramana. Divine Sunderer on Wukong, so there's your first actual Mythic item completed in the game. Josedeodo just ever so slightly behind Inspired in terms of farm, both junglers not having a terribly active early game, so the farm counts are going to be high.
I will say, I do like what I've seen out of Philip and Josedeodo so far. I think there was a question of Philip's laning phase that people were talking about coming in. He wasn't dominating in Academy, and so I'd like seeing that in the right matchups, in the right game states, they actually can play around him. They almost got a dive off. They got a gank off. Now they have the Herald dive setting up as well. You can see this Swirl Seed from Inspired being like, I'm coming, don't make this dive happen.
FlyQuest is bringing up the whole party here, but now we got the Glacial Path ready to go as Evil Geniuses backs up Impact. FlyQuest tried to get something, but EG respond in time. They'll shut down this play. The Herald is used. It gets the 2 plates, but nothing more.
Not able to find the kill. Still a nice little opportunity here. Actually, FlyQuest is not actually calling this playoff. They're going to stay around.
No, they're going for the element of surprise here, but Inspired has found the 2-man slate. Jojo goes over the wall, and Josedeodo is not long for this world. toucouille tries to get out, but it's an Ahri with no mana. Luckily, he has Philip there right next to him, means he stays alive, but EG do a good job punishing what FlyQuest thought was a clever play.
Nicely done by Inspired, excuse me. The double Swirl Seed. Whew. Danny, we talked about the extra TP in the game, showing up there.
Yup.
Almost found the kill. Nice punish by EG. First off, to stop the Rift Herald dive attempt, showing up in time with jojopyun's TP, and Inspired just kind of getting a read that that's where they were going. And then when they tried to find that re-engage, punishing that. And now Danny up on the top side is able to grab some turret plates. On the bot side, you can actually Impact's making his way down there to pair up with the Sona to try and defend this turret.
A little bit of a swap back and forth here to maximize what these guys are able to get done. Again, it was all about trying to snipe that kill in top there for Danny, and although he hits the mark, unfortunately not quite enough damage, but now Johnsun up against Impact and Vulcan, and they'll just keep farming it up. Let's take another look at how this happened in top lane.
I thought for a second this was still going to work for EG when they get this bit of a wombo between the ultimate from Josedeodo and Philip, but a nice route by Jojo, excuse me, ultimate onto Philip, make sure that the Vladimir can't kind of continue on through that fight, with toucouille potentially coming back in from the wall as well. But then when they go for the re-engage, just a nice double E, double ult from Inspired splits this fight, so it's basically a 3v2. Hold on, bot lane!
Bottom side, now Impact, he cannot get away from the Yuumi Twitch as easily, and he's going to be taken out. Josedeodo trying to stand and fight here with the Drake pit. He's going to secure that dragon. Evil Genius is trying to get some kills in the back end now as Johnson's going to be taken low, but Josedeodo looking to spin and win yet again. Johnsun gets taken down. FlyQuest trying to get the hell out of town now, but Danny's still looking for more. Philip finds his way into the fight, lands the ulti onto 2. toucouille grabbing the kill on Vulcan. Evil Geniuses lose 3 men and the objective.
We're getting just what you wanted, Captain Flowers. Some action in the early game. I love it. They get to punish Impact, who's just not ready for that submarine combo. They get that first kill as the dragon was going down. I think Impact might have had a lulled false sense of security where he thinks FlyQuest isn't really going to contest this, and then that breaks out into this big fight. So you can kind of see them on the dragon up there, and I think Impact just goes, oh, they're going to the dragon. Just turn right back around on top of Impact and explode him for this fight. And then just, I really like how they continue to contest this for the side of FlyQuest. The engage there, Inspire gets the heal from the ultimate, but ends up trying to flash away from toucouille. Not quite enough. Johnsun plays this very well, getting the cleanse flash away, kiting out decently. And then right when you think EG is a little bit stronger, here comes Philip. Just blows up Vulcan. Nice charm by toucouille to set that one up. And Jojo, nice escape there. Lands the root and then the E away.
Yeah, but even though that fight looked really good for FlyQuest, even though they got the Drake, even though 700 gold lead for the side of Evil Geniuses, who are still ahead overall in the game. FlyQuest going for Rift Herald number 2. Remember, they did get that first one. It did result in 2 plates, but nothing more. EG are bringing bodies up towards this pit, but it doesn't look like they're going to be there in time to contest it. Is secured by FlyQuest. Eyeball still on the ground. They want to at least try to grab this and get out. Aphromoo takes it. See you later, Jose. I can't help you, bro. Yuumi, get the package and get to safety.
I was wondering what FlyQuest was going to do there when they had Yuumi on top of Josedeodo in the pit. Jose's like, guys, look at me, so Yuumi can, the cat, grab it in her mouth and then skirt over. So they do get the Rift Herald there. They end up dropping at the end of that and going to have some pressure from EG, but cute little play there.
That was the quarterback sneak of League of Legends.
Yeah, I was like, oh, there's 2 dead people in the pit instead of just 1, but there you go. Aphromoo.
They managed to get away with it. Nicely done from FlyQuest there to at least get their objective and get out. It does cost them a death, which does put Evil Geniuses 1,500 gold ahead, just about 17 minutes in.
1,500 gold ahead right now. The Rift Trail charge will hopefully bring that a little bit closer for the side of FlyQuest. Yeah. And the one thing I'll say as well is EG have some money printers go burr on their side with the GP as well as first strike. Ezreal can get a little bit of gold, and you're going to be just pelting away over the course of laning phase. And then even in team fights, if you can, just get a fat ultimate across multiple people, it's not a bad chunk of change you can pick up. Similar to how on first strike Karthus, you just drop your ult. And
just pop the ulti and get paid for it.
Yeah.
Press R, get 300 gold.
And to be fair, it's even better on Ezreal in the sense that you use that to check objectives. You get to the cooldown a lot faster with your Q spam, whereas Karthus, when you do that in pro games, it feels pretty awful. You're like,
it's not the great.
I'm a team fight champion who doesn't have a team fight ult now, whereas Ezreal is not reliant on his ultimate at all.
Well, Josedeodo has Aphromoo strapped to him yet again. They're looking towards that crab, but unfortunately, Evil Geniuses is doing so, but with a lot more eyes. 4 players up here in the top side river means they will secure this little mini neutral objective, but talking about neutrals, there's nothing to fight over here for the next minute and a half. That's when the 3rd Drake of the game will be live. Remember, those are tied 1-1 right now, so nobody close to a soul at all. 18 minutes into the game means Baron is still off the table for the next couple of minutes here, and that's about how long Aphromoo still has on this Eye of the Herald as well. Mark, where do we want to see FlyQuest use this? Never mind, they have used it mid lane.
Well, that's what I was going to say anyways. I swear to God. I swear to God, it's not hindsight analysis. I was going to say I always like second Herald on mid if mid turret is still up. Mid turret is just such a vital, it's not in terms of gold anymore important, but just map state, being able to get a little bit further of a push in to then go move into jungles and stuff. I think it's can't be overstated how powerful that is. It's the most important turn on the map in a lot of ways.
Oh, Josedeodo getting caught out here again, trying to disengage with the help of Aphromoo, who once again must abandon ship as Jose is caught and exploded.
They do lock him down, but you can see how difficult it is to engage through the Yuumi with the Wukong there, being able to leave his clone behind for the knockup. Does force a lot of spells out there. You have JoJo's ult down, Inspired's ult down, Vulcan's ult down, so a nice pickoff, but at the end of the day, FlyQuest still dropped that. Oh, the mid turret's still up. I'm trolling.
It barely survived from the Herald Charge. Herald Charge got it down to 2 or 3% HP. But no, like what you were talking about with how this turret is so important, I fully agree with. It feels like so many times you see shoving out mid be the first step to whatever other play, whatever other movement you're looking to do, and being able to shove it past that, oh, well, we're just at the river anyway point, means a lot for what you can set up, right?
Yeah, definitely the case. Mid priority is something I have hammered home more than I probably should have over my career. And it's something that, again, will be very important in this game, I think, with the dragons. Stacking will not be like the importance, but you'll see a lot of people fighting around dragon. Having that angle will be huge.
toucouille looking for the setup here. Everfrost gonna get the slow, guarantees the charm, and Josedeodo getting a little bit of revenge for those last couple of deaths.
Vulcan sidestepped the Everfrost, not able to sidestep the charm as well. That pickoff leads perfectly into dragon. Not gonna be contested by EG here, who are gonna sack this one right away. You see Danny moving up to the Lissandra instead.
And that's one of my big issues with Everfrost is this item. You don't even have to hit the root part of it. It fires at this 90-degree cone, and if you're in the slow at all, the skill shot's no longer a skill shot. Hit the charm, you're gone.
I love it. I have terrible mechanics, Captain Flowers. Of course I want that item.
This is the Mark Zimmerman seal of approval for the Everfrost setting you up.
I love it. I can't hit anything.
Give yourself the alley-oop setup so you can then also do the
self alley-oop. Absolutely. I love it. Anyways, the gold lead up to 2K with EG grabbing the top turret there, so still feeling good. I was checking the money printers, how much the government has made. Impact on his Q.
Mark, we might have to get back to that here in a moment. Danny gets jumped on, but he's able to get right on back, and Josedeodo shot to pieces again. Evil Geniuses just keeps finding him. Impact teleports into the fight, but he's not there in time to do a whole lot. Philip taking a bit of damage on the back end of things, but nobody really in any further danger of dying. Josedeodo, I believe, is 4 out of 5 of the deaths on FlyQuest.
Yeah, they've been picking on him quite a bit. I liked having this problem of me thinking that there's going to be downtime, and there's not. I love it.
This is a great problem to have.
I love it. Impact now getting caught out. Johnsun on the wraparound with the submarine coming in.
Yeah, they've got the ultimate here for the Twitch.
Not even submarining.
Okay, Johnsun just going to go ahead, pop that ulti. Rat-a-tat-tat, spray and pray, whatever you want to call it. It's gold in Johnson's pocket.
Nice flank there on Impact. These guys getting a little loosey-goosey, but I'm having fun with it. I think a lot of people are also getting lulled into the false sense of security about the slower gameplay of, oh, well, they're not going to fight now. We just picked the Sona.
We just had our first fight for these 15 minutes.
We
now
just grabbed the dragon. Of course we're not going to fight. But like we said, this is actually an incredibly squishy draft from both teams in the current meta. Just realistically, no front line.
There's no meatballs.
There's no meatballs at all. Every single person can get caught out of position, as well as having a lot of CC for both these team comps. It's just so easy if you get out of position to get exploded.
The closest thing to a meatball in this game is Wukong. He's more like a vegan meatball, tofu ball. He's not
crumbly.
Yeah,
it's not firm tofu.
Yeah,
it's the soft tofu.
There's no meat. And Wukong is, of course, not having a great time frontlining in these fights, as if he gets caught, all Jojo has to do is put that ulti on him like you saw in the last fight, and there's not enough survivability there for him to escape. 3,500 gold lead for Evil Geniuses. How damning is this for FlyQuest, Mark?
Not too damning, because like I said, you can always just blow somebody up. I think it's starting to get concerning where the enemy team just has a lot more damage than you.
Okay.
That you start just dying faster and first. But like the stopwatch, or Zonya's coming in for jojopyun, makes it a little bit annoying because he's a target that might not be able to be exploded right out the gate. These kinds of tools coming in where you get a second item defensive, like the Hex Drinker, for example, on Impact right now, makes it so it's just a little bit harder for you to find the first kill, because if everyone's on the same damage item but they have one defensive thing, suddenly you lose those fights.
Yeah, buddy. Well, we've got some scary, scary stuff in this Twitch for Johnsun, at least, right? Like, you've got Kraken, you've got Bork. Next item still working towards it. The dagger tells me this is probably going to be a Runans,
yeah.
right? Because that is one of the nice parts too. Like Runans, typically the way that I see people talk about it with Twitch is obviously Runans always feels great. The more clumped up people are for Twitch, Jinx, anybody like this, that's what that item's all about. And especially if people are squishy like this, just blow up the whole team all at once. There's always a win con.
Yeah, the little bolts that you're not even targeting ends up chunking someone to 60% of their health or something. Very scary, and that's one thing that they'll always have in their back pocket. Plenty of scaling with the Vladimir as well.
I love the ridiculousness of the visual of it as well, because the main bolt from Twitch ulti, it looks like something out of a ballista, right? Like that thing looks like it should hurt you. But the Runans bolts are the most unthreatening thing ever. They look like a projectile from a trash mob in level 1 of an MMO, and then all of a sudden you are just dying to these.
The funniest thing was Caitlyn back in the day with the headshot crits, the range, the fact that the bolt range would increase, and you just see this little dinky little bolt shoot out to the right, like 2,000 units, then hit you for 400 damage. You're like, what?
Level 1 trash mob staying in the gym, as we've got Philip still farming up here in the top lane. Has that second item completed. Night Harvester plus the Void Staff. Night Harvester, one of those items that for a long time was just almost universally considered trash tier. We've seen a couple more champions building it more recently. Does give you a lot of extra burst in the middle of a 5v5 team fight, since you get the effect on every single enemy champion if you can hit them.
Yeah, and it's something that great for team fighting if you can get in this position normally, but I think a lot of people still prefer the Proto Belt build just because you're not guaranteed to get there. You do have Flash, maybe Flash Ghost. I'd be more down with the Night Harvester angle. He does have the Ignite, but we'll have to see. I mean, your team has so many pieces of damage, you're just throwing some more on with the Night Harvester.
Yeah, just get everybody in there. Josedeodo jumps in, looking for the ulti here on Impact, who gets away from the first knockup, but he can't get away from the follow-up. Josedeodo grabbing a kill there.
Josedeodo's been getting picked on by EG. FlyQuest returned the favor, beating up on Impact all game long. Multiple gank opportunities onto him there, caught in the side lane. What can they do with it? Looks like they're pinging on assist me onto that turret from EG. You can see multiple members after getting the shove on the mid wave are making their way through that top jungle. What are FlyQuest going to do?
Well, FlyQuest are leaving Philip up there on the tier 2. Josedeodo backing away now. Danny lands some good damage over the wall. Jojo throws out the Everfrost. They lock down Josedeodo, and the bullying continues. But they're going to bully everybody this time. 3 dead on FlyQuest. Mark, you smell that? Smells like Baron.
Smells like Baron. They're going to make a rat joke about cheese or something. I'm confused. He started sniffing like a rat. I don't know. I was surprised FlyQuest left those guys in the top lane. EG clearly pushed out mid, and we're going to collapse onto the top side. And FlyQuest just left them there on an island. 3 kills over immediately means a Baron. Huge macro blunder by FlyQuest that Evil Geniuses instantly punished.
And they end up going the dragon the way of FlyQuest, though, so at least they get that. You saw that during the Baron take, Danny fires off the True Shot Barrage into the pit just to see if maybe he can YOLO steal it away. Does not end up working out for them, so FlyQuest get that, but it is a poor consolation prize for losing 3 men and then losing the Baron.
The fact that Josedeodo was running into the jungle makes me think that FlyQuest was totally unaware that EG was collapsing in this situation.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I don't know why you would be face-checking 4 people. Maybe they thought only 1 person was coming, but I just don't know what else you think the enemy team is going to do after shoving out mid-wave with 4 people. They're obviously going to be trying to stop your push there, and FlyQuest just need to respect that and back off. Nice punish by EG, though, because now you're asking, what's the gold lead? What's the gold? 5.5K with Baron is the lead.
I asked you how damning it was earlier at 3.5 with no Baron. Now we're 5.5 with Baron. This is troubled waters for the side of FlyQuest. Yes, they have Soul Point, but if we're listing off advantages for them in this game, that is about it. Looking at Johnsun's inventory, has the Zeal, so still working towards that Runaan's. And this lead is becoming so massive, I'm starting to feel like that's kind of the only win con, is just Twitch opens up the firing range on 5 people at once.
The Wombo combo always exists. Vladimir ult, Twitch ult, insta-kill everyone because they were grouped up with like Yuumi root over the top or something. But it gets harder and harder to pull that off as the enemy team just has more vision control. They can spot you coming, as well as like the Sona can stuff this stuff. You know, people have other tools like EG is also a great ball comp, so as long as they're not totally grouped up on top of each other, they should have the tools to disengage something like that.
Danny will land a little bit of damage there onto the tier 3 turret, but Evil Geniuses doesn't want to risk anybody getting caught by stepping too far forward. They have these 2 empowered cannon minions, which always feels good in these situations. If you're really trying to be maximum cautious and not get caught by stepping up to auto the turret, you have 2 cannon minions, you don't have to. The cannon minions are doing all of this. There, they finally die, but they get the turret down to 10% HP.
Yeah, FlyQuest was just waiting to see where GP was. Once he showed getting the top wave in their favor, they got a little more aggressive about clearing that out. Now they're looking for a fight.
Jojo missing his W there, casting it a little bit too early, so Josedeodo, an extra bit of threat there that forces the Evil Geniuses mid laner back, and with them losing control over that mid part of the jungle there, Jojo, that means the rest of EG now backs away from the bottom lane, gets themselves back into the Tribe Rush. Going to be a group recall here. That True Shot Barrage not going to find a whole lot of anything as Impact gets the top wave pushed out. But now the problem is, with everybody bottom having recalled, Impact doesn't want to stick around top as the only thing on the map.
Nope, and only 30 seconds left on the Red Bull Baron buff. Power play. Right under 3K gold if they've been able to get from it, so
that's really good.
It's good. It's not crazy, though. It's not back-breaking. You didn't break any inhibitor turrets. Those are all still up, as this is probably going to time out. Maybe they'll be able to grab this inner as the last little prize for them. Yeah. Then it's really going to be about the soul point fight, Cloud Soul available for FlyQuest if they can find an angle in there.
Usually when I see a team take a first Baron, I expect them to be able to get most, if not all, of the tier 2s. That's what I generally consider a mark of success. And then a huge success is breaking that inhibitor line. Like
it's changed over time. There was a period of time where that's like, you were happy if you could get the inners down. Then there was the everyone dies so fast that like the game should be over after the first Baron. We are definitely back in that, like your first Baron may not be the game ender if you're not already massively ahead. So,
but it gives you a really nice boost.
It gives you a huge boost. It means these team fights around these soul points that are coming up should be massively in your favor. You should be able to get the second Baron as well. In FlyQuest, you're going to have to find an insane angle somehow to get this game away from EG.
Yeah, it's feeling like even though FlyQuest are the ones who could go for the Dragon Soul here in a minute and a half, they're so far behind and they've lost control of the map in a way like what you're talking about. You can see all the EG vision down here in the jungle, that it's so dangerous to go after a single Cloud Drake if EG gets it. It's not that big of a deal if EG takes it. Yeah, you're losing out on a soul, but what are they really winning? You don't have to take it.
You don't have to take this, but at that same point, when are you going to find the angle that you like? Is it going to be at the Baron? Maybe. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah.
I mean, EG have...
And that's the call you have to make.
It's a call you have to make. EG have done a pretty good job of kind of playing as a unit. I'm trying to figure out like who I want to single out on this team as having a great game. Multiple members are, you know, obviously Danny, pretty fed. You have
Danny
Inspired
and Jojo are both
Jojo.
doing great. Yeah, Inspired's doing fantastic. Like Jojo is the only one with 100% kill participation. So if nothing else, default to who's always in the fights. That's the way I do it.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Philip. Oh.
Nice reaction there from Philip. However, the barrel chain is there. Impact only needed the second one. He put the third one in for style.
He was stunting on him. He said, I know where you're going to go, and put the third barrel down on the escape path of Philip. They find that kill before the dragon is up. They might not even go back to it. They have a huge wave here. They're going to be able to crack this inhibitor.
Vulcan throwing up the white flags, which telling him to FF.
Just get out of here, dude. The game's over.
Man. And the rest of the team wasn't around at all to try and make any sort of a defense. So Evil Geniuses with that pick just strong-arm their way into the base. They take the first inhib. They set themselves up to stop the Soul, to grab their second Drake. Everything's coming up BG, Mark.
Yep. Excellent job there, kind of getting ahead of the dragon fight. Just find a pick beforehand. And Vulcan has had a good game. I know it was dodged out by Philip, but I knew they had the inside track with GP there.
Yeah.
And it's been nice to see Vulcan on things that are not Alistar, Leona, and Nautilus. I think even he was memeing it in some of his interviews that he's just like auto slams Nautilus, Leona, and showing that he has more things in the back pocket that he can pull out. The Enchanter meta is not one that he's going to struggle in, if this is any indication.
And Josedeodo will hand off this blue buff here over to toucouille. FlyQuest still trying to find some sort of a way back into this game. The Twitch on 3 items, the Ahri on 3 items. This is not a utility-style Ahri at all. This is Everfrost, Horizon Focus, and Rabadon's Death Cap. This is a ton of damage potential. But again, what I'm looking for here is the setup. I'm looking for toucouille to be able to find these Everfrosts into charms, into making some kind of a pick, because it doesn't feel like FlyQuest could win a fair fight unless Evil Geniuses gift wraps it to him in a form of 5 people clumping up for what you said, Yuumi, Vlad, Twitch.
Yeah, and with the Baron up, maybe that's the angle where people are all in the pit and you can land some of these bigger combinations of abilities. It does mean that you have to get into the pit to contest it.
You gotta get up there.
Got to get into the river somehow, but it's hard. There is actually a fair amount of zone control for the side of EG's team comp with the GP barrels, with the Sona ultimate, with Lillia's abilities. Like, it's actually a relatively hard team comp to just face check, but they're going to have to make it happen.
You can always tell when a team is confident because they will walk into the pit, start hitting Baron, notice the ward, say screw it, and keep doing Baron while they clear the ward anyway.
And that's exactly what I was talking about. They tried to brute force their way through that little entrance, and they eat GP barrels, they eat Ezreal Qs, they have swirl seeds coming at them.
It's tough.
It's hard to find a way in. They're going to try and make that happen through mid lane here, get some prio, and then go into the bigger entrance of the river from mid lane.
I mean, when you think about it, you got Sona, you've got Ezreal, you've got Gangplank. Like, this EG squad is very good at disengaging. So if FlyQuest have a move to make, it needs to be coordinated, it needs to be powerful, it needs to be soon. Oh, but we've got the potential sleep coming out here. That one's going to find Jose. As Jojo turns his attention over onto Philip, and now FlyQuest looking to counterattack here a little bit. Josedeodo staying alive, Inspired grabbing the killing spree, and Johnson's already down. Impact stays alive too, and he still ain't dead yet. Evil Geniuses only lose one, and they murder the whole damn crew. The environment be damned, the bad guys take this fight.
EG looking for the last kill to find the ace. There it is. Bud Light Ace available for EG. Find that kill. They're moving into the top lane, going to try and end this game potentially.
Oh, they're just burning the whole thing down. I like what FlyQuest tried to do there, but that is what was an 8,000, now a 9,000, nearly 10,000 gold difference. Health bars got low, but they didn't hit 0, and EG just outfight them. They're gonna get some turrets. They're gonna get the Baron. Impact's looking to grab himself an inhibitor. This is feeling over.
I spoke too soon. I said it was over. Technically, game's still going on, but there's just so little opportunity now for FlyQuest to get back in the game. They're waiting for the respawn on Jojo before taking this Baron. There they go. Jojo's back up.
Yeah.
Greeting the smite for fun, waiting for resets.
I think they're just taking as much time as possible. Just like, hey, well, let's get 3 extra seconds on Baron.
We're min-maxing. All right, I'm down for it. Here's this fight. Philip gets jumped on with Aphro on top of him, and it leads to a small opportunity here that I kind of like, but watch Johnsun just get absolutely exploded when he tries to open up here. Everyone's initially onto Philip. They get some good trades back, but Johnsun gets the big one dropped right on his head, comboed up, blown up with the Ezreal ult as well. Like, he just got exploded without really being focused down. That's the danger when the Yuumi is not on top of the rat. The cat-rat combination not available. And so they were able to force out a lot of stuff out of Philip while killing the Twitch, and just too hard for FlyQuest to find someone to get. They do get Jojo in the middle of all that damage that they were dropping.
Show is Tom and Jerry for a reason. You can't have one without the other. Otherwise, you just end up having a bad time. And you can see the difference dealt in the team fight between AD carries. Nearly triple the amount of damage for Danny's Ezreal. And now FlyQuest trying to get the hell away again. toucouille nearly dead. Johnsun going to get caught out there by the Gangplank. Ulti Vulcan comes in for the stun. Glacial Path to chase down the enemy AD, but a lovely charm coming out from toucouille, guaranteeing nobody's going to die on the way out, at least for now. True shot barrage misses everybody. Philip barely hobbles back into the fountain. Evil geniuses have taken the mid lane inhibitor. Bot lane inhibitor about to respawn now. EG still looking to end the game. Nexus now open. 2 kills coming in. Both carries already dead. Josedeodo buying time, but there's not much left to buy. Evil geniuses, 18 to 8, 36 minutes in. They're even looking to pad the stats a little bit. Ezreal firing the Qs in there towards the Yuumi. Danny wants it. Aphro won't give it. Doesn't matter. EG takes the win.
EG closed that game out pretty cleanly. 18 kills to 9 in their favor. It was back and forth in the early game, but once FlyQuest made one big mistake, EG rolled over him.
And hey, we were talking about, the desk was talking about, everybody was talking about how's EG gonna look coming back from MSI. MSI hangovers, MSI curses, whatever you want to call it. EG finishes week 1 super week here in summer with a perfect record. Feels damn good.
Feels really good. I think that they look super clean. You heard the desk talking about the ways to get over a hangover.